My name is Mike Gutzler, and I'd like to welcome you to our podcast where we celebrate and lift up local leaders who are supporting and running and directing some fantastic nonprofit organizations in and around our area. And today I have Linda with me today. Linda, would you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Hi, Pastor Mike. My name is Linda Ofterhar. I'm a board member of Gracing Spaces, and Gracing Spaces has been in existence for over 2 decades, but we recently became a nonprofit 2 years ago. The backstory for Gracing Spaces is it started organically with an idea. One of my good friends from Lord of Life Lutheran Church had a creative idea to do a makeover at a community center in Washington, D.C. This was at the request of her daughter, who wanted a non-traditional wedding shower. So a group of women decided to do this makeover of this community shelter for women. And then it just evolved into this wonderful community outreach program.
Excellent. So say a little bit more about what actually Gracing Spaces does.
Okay, so Gracing Spaces is an all-volunteer-led organization, or I should say not led, but it's an all-volunteer organization. And we initially functioned out of Lord of Life Lutheran Church as a ministry partner, helping our brothers and sisters in the community who were unhoused. And we were fortunate to be able to operate out of one of the campus sites of Lord of Life Lutheran Church in their basement, where we collected donated furniture and household items and then shared those gifts with clients in the community. And we had been doing that for years. Fast forward, we're now a new nonprofit organization.
Excellent. So would you just take donations from anybody and use those donations to outfit new apartments, or what does the process look like for what your volunteer team does?
So our process is that we accept donations from people in our community, and usually those donations are furniture items, household items, toys, linens that we accept. We are very strict on our standards of what we accept. They're new or gently used items. And we repurpose those items to help individuals who have been unhoused, experience homelessness, coming out of shelters, are new in our country, immigrants, and we then share those items through referrals from area social workers. So we receive requests from area social workers. We work with about 40 different organizations in Northern Virginia. So on a weekly basis, we get requests from social workers, and our volunteers fill those orders of what a client may need. They may need beds. They may need furniture items to move into a new home. They may need household items. So the list goes on, and we very carefully fill those requests.
Could you say a little bit more about the quality and condition they need to be in, and then maybe a little bit about the rehabilitation that you and your volunteers do?
Yes. So our volunteers are set really high standards regarding the donations that we accept. So we accept new and gently used items. And we are very careful about the items that we select for families. So we want our clients to be comfortable with the items that they receive. And we do not put any orders together that we feel are not good quality for our clients. If there are furniture items that need to be refurbished, minor repairs, our volunteers will do that. But again, we're very careful on selecting items that are of good quality and are safe for our clients.
Great. And so if there was some question that's maybe someone who had something to donate, wanted to know if their, say, couch or end table or chair was good enough for donation with your organization, is there someone they could talk to, or do they send pictures, or how does that process work?
So on our website, we have a form for individuals in the community to donate items, and we do ask for photographs of those items so we can determine, if we can use those items. Many of our clients have very limited space, so we're very careful about obtaining items that can fit in their home, in their apartment. And also our space is limited in terms of our inventory and what we can accept. There's constant turnover, so we're keeping a very careful inventory of the items that we receive.
So then when those requests come in, do you kind of package everything and then that family can come pick that stuff up, or do you actually take it to the apartment and set up the space for the individual?
So on a weekly basis, our operation manager receives numerous emails from various social workers. And typically on a Tuesday, our team of volunteers put those orders together. They tag those items based on the client's need and package those. And then on a Wednesday, based on what a client needs, they either secure a moving truck or a large vehicle and pick those items up from our new warehouse space or our public storage space, which houses our larger furniture items. So this is hopefully a seamless process.
Very nice. Okay. So what are some of the challenges that you've noticed some of your clients experiencing that they're in a position where they would need additional furniture or helping outfit a new apartment?
So as you can imagine, if somebody has been unhoused, and they're now moving into a new apartment or townhouse, often they don't have anything. And so what our program is able to do is to furnish those items in their home. And, we work really very carefully with the social workers or the organizations to make sure that a client has what they need to begin a new life in their new home. We grace their space. And it's very expensive to live in Northern Virginia. So what we're able to do, if we can provide these items, then they don't have to buy them. Then they can use that money for food or clothing or transportation or other expenses. So we take that burden off of them. I think people don't realize when you move into a new home, there's a lot of things that you need. So we're just trying to reduce the stress of the client and to provide hope and stability in their lives.
Oh, okay. So when a family moves into a new place and you've graced their space with all these amazing gifts and they're there, if that family transitions to a new home, is that furniture theirs to keep? Do they have to give it back?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
so they can use it as like a building towards their next place if they move on from where they're currently living.
Absolutely. And I'll illustrate that for you. We, through our church, sponsored a family from Afghanistan, and we helped grace their new apartment. It was very challenging for them to come because they had 6 children and 2 adults living in a 2-bedroom with a den apartment. We helped move all of the furniture in and other items that they needed to start a new life and a new home in this area. And then most recently, with more stability and jobs, they were able to move into a larger housing space. So they were able to take those items and additional items to furnish their new townhome.
Oh, that's wonderful. Excellent. Well, moving furniture, most people know is as difficult and can be heavy at some times. You mentioned this is an all volunteer organization. Can you say a little bit about how many volunteers Gracing Spaces has and maybe some of the different roles or responsibilities those volunteers take on?
Yes. So, yes, moving furniture is daunting as well as other tasks, and most of our volunteers are now retired, although we do have younger volunteers, and we're always looking for strong, young volunteers to help our organization. But we have many roles in our organizations that volunteers could fulfill. We have both on-site and behind the scenes, and there's just a myriad of tasks that volunteers can do to help us, including moving furniture, picking up furniture, tagging items, doing our inventory, accepting communication from social workers. That is really an arduous task, as you can imagine, because we're working with so many organizations. Just behind the scenes, keeping track of our inventory, what we need on an ongoing basis. So those are just some of the tasks that we have.
And you're always accepting new volunteers, is that right?
We absolutely are. And any volunteer could go to our website, which is gracingspaces.com. There is a form that volunteers can fill out. They can, volunteer for as little as a couple of hours a week, or they can help with a specific project. It's not a huge commitment necessarily, but it's a very rewarding and inspiring commitment.
Yeah, that's great. And then I'm assuming there's an intake process too that your volunteers participate in. If there was somebody who had or moving out of town or had some extra furniture that they wanted to donate, can you say a little bit about that process and making that happen?
Yes, so we do have a form. If someone wanted to donate items to Gracing Spaces, they fill out a form, and then our manager who is overseeing the donations then coordinates with individuals. I can tell you just yesterday we assisted the manager after we did our weekly give outs. We went to a couple individual homes in the community and picked up furniture from their homes. Again, we're very specific because, it's heavy to move a lot of the furniture. So we ask that individuals who donate furniture that they have it, located, on the main level or in their garage so we can bring our moving truck and pick up those items.
Gotcha. Wow. So with lots of furniture moving in and then moving out and gracing new spaces, how would you say Gracing Spaces measures success? Like what's the way that you quantify doing your generous work in the neighborhood and in the community?
So, that can be defined in many ways. I think one of the ways that we, measure the impact of our program in the community, we certainly are in now because we're a new nonprofit, keeping track of, the families and clients we serve and how many donated items we've given out. Just to illustrate that, in the first 6 months of this year, we have helped over 250 families.
Wow.
And we have received donated items valued at $115,000 that we have given to our clients. But another way to measure our impact is, the smiles and the joy and the thank yous that we receive from our clients, which are priceless.
Yeah. That's great. And so as a new nonprofit, how do you growing your presence in the community? How are you making people aware of what you're doing and growing your network of support?
So we have a large volunteer group, and each week after we have given out our donations to the clients, our operations director provides a weekly email update to our volunteers and donors to get the message out of what we've done, how we've served, and what we may need. We also have a very active board of directors, and behind the scenes, we created, because we're a new nonprofit, we created a new website, we created a new brochure. We have a very active fundraising and marketing team. Again, these are all volunteers who are donating their time. We get the word out through public speaking. We've met with various leaders in the community. We met with the mayor of Fairfax City. We've met with county supervisors. We've met with religious leaders, political leaders, community service providers that we work with very closely with, just to get the word out. We're known in the community of those that we've served for over 20 years, but we're a new nonprofit. So yes, we're continually trying to get the word out.
That's great. Yeah. And hopefully this will be another opportunity, another platform for people to be aware of what you're doing, and either be a new avenue for folks to find you and give at least donations of furniture.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm assuming you all take monetary donations as well. Is that correct?
We do. Again, on our website, we have a way to donate. A one-time donation or a recurring donation. We are now able to accept donations through credit cards. And so, yes, that helps our operation, again, because it's all volunteer supported. So we have new expenses, too, because we just moved into a small warehouse space. And we also pay for public storage units for the large furniture that we, keep for clients. So we do have additional expenses.
Yeah. Excellent. But so you've been doing this fantastic work for over 2 decades now and transitioning as an independent nonprofit. So as an independent nonprofit, what are your goals, or what do you hope to accomplish, or what do you hope to grow into over the next, say, year, 2 years, or 5 years?
Well, in the immediate future, again, we just moved into a very small warehouse space. We were fortunate before, as I said, to have our program housed at Lord of Life Lutheran Church in their unfinished basement. And that was quite a blessing and a gift. But now our new environment, it's a lot less, and we have to pay for that space. So, in the immediate future, we would like to have a larger warehouse space where all of our volunteers could work together, because part of our volunteers work out of our public storage unit. It's housed kind of in the same location. And then we have a new warehouse space in that vicinity. So we have to, work together to make the orders all come together as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So a larger warehouse space is most definitely needed.
Okay, great.
And funds.
Yeah. Yeah. And then of course, like scope of influence, I'm assuming too, that additional ability to help more families and to
absolutely. And I was just going to add that, as we grow, we would like to help to serve more of our brothers and sisters in the community, because there's really a great need.
Yeah, especially as someone like you who has a fair amount of experience working in this sector and with this organization, even before it was an independent nonprofit. Have you seen the needs of our community about the same, less, or grow since Gracing Spaces started its efforts over 2 decades ago?
I believe it's grown. I think the need is certainly great. And there's probably a number of factors that influence that. But, housing has increased the expense. And so the affordability of housing is just difficult in this area,
Yeah.
and also, new individuals coming into our community from other countries, and we help them become housed in our community. And, so again, the need is great. And also, we have unhoused individuals that still need a home.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that has, I believe, increased.
Yeah. So maybe you can share a little bit about some of your favorite aspects of being at Gracing Spaces, or what's the joy that you get out of being a part of the Gracing Spaces nonprofit?
Well, it's certainly an inspiring mission. And I believe I get more out of it. And I think many of our volunteers would say that than what we give. It's a very joyful mission. It's faith driven. And it serves a need for our volunteers as well. Our volunteers feel that they're giving back to the community and to our clients. We are very, very blessed in this area. There's tremendous need, but there's also tremendous abundance. And so if we can share that abundance with others, then we can all benefit. So for me, my husband is involved. My children have been involved. They're now adult children. So, it's giving back to the community.
So, Linda, you have done this for a long time now, and you've met lots of different people and graced a lot of different spaces. Are there any that come to mind even recently of some success stories or some really wonderful aspects that you've seen in the spaces that you've graced recently?
So I have many stories, as you're probably aware. I've been a volunteer for over 20 years. So some of the, more recent experiences, we recently helped a client from the Lamb Center who had been unhoused for many years. And our team of volunteers did a makeover of his apartment. The team arrived on a Saturday, loaded the moving truck, drove the moving truck to his new apartment, and completely furnished that apartment. And we created a home for him. We also recently helped a family, a new group, a veterans group, refer a family to us. They had been living in a motel, and one of the family members experienced a work-related injury and now on disability, and they moved from a motel to their new home, and we helped furnish those items to create a new home for them. We also helped a woman who had been living in her car for 2 years. She was the victim of domestic violence. And we were able to confidentially help her transition to a new home and give her the household items so she could feel safe and comfortable in her new home.
Excellent. That's beautiful. Well, I just want to take an extra moment and thank you so much for your leadership, for your time, and for the great work that Gracing Spaces is doing for our community. And is there any other thoughts or elements to Gracing Spaces that you think we should know about or that you'd like to share?
I would just encourage people to join our organization if you have the time. If you have a few hours to spare, we can always use a helping hand. There's great fellowship in our organization. We come together, we socialize. It's mission driven. Our group is very welcoming. It's just a wonderful organization to be a part of.
It's almost like a community within a community there, it sounds like.
It is. It really is, because we have fellowship on a weekly basis with the volunteers, and new volunteers have joined us. And now we also partner with other programs within the community to share if we have additional items that we need to share. We've partnered recently with Centerville United Methodist Church. And so the second Saturday of the month, part of our team of volunteers goes to that community to help them. And we bring some of the items that we have that we couldn't use in our program or have the space for. We share it with their program. Outreach.
Yeah, and those partnerships are always great. And you'd be open to having even other organizations or other groups partner with you, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah. And again, is there anything else that you would like to share or things that we should know about?
I just appreciate the time and the publicity. You know, it's just getting the word out and helping people to understand. We're kind of, you know, I look at this organization as the boots on the ground. We're very responsive. You know, when a social worker says, you know, I have a need for this client, we can quickly mobilize resources and get, you know, items to that client that, you know, they don't have to worry about or feel, you know, stressed about. We have a very generous base of volunteers and donors that are willing to help.
That's fantastic. Excellent. Well, again, thank you so much for your time and for being here today and helping others know more about what you're doing and the ways that they can be connected and support you all as you continue to do great work going forward.
Thank you. Thanks, Pastor Mike.
Yeah.